Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. This is about the guy out of Canada. His name is Halston Spence, 60 years old. It seems as though he has education. He's a civil engineer, and he presented at the Grantley Adams International Airport October 26th-ish, and he had a whole bunch of drugs in his luggage, and he walked away when he was in line to be searched or whatever. It seems as though he went to the exit and he left his luggage. I don't know if he felt that he was going to be caught or whatever. So he was actually walking around in Barbados for about 4 days because he was at the airport trying to leave when they got him. He was trying to get back to Canada on the 30th of October. Like I said, he was on the island for about 4 days, and he was, well, I was going to say caught, but he was met by the Barbados police. They went to the airport and they got him because they had his luggage, and he didn't go back to get his luggage to get arrested right away. So they had to figure out when is this guy going back to his homeland, and that's when they got him. He was on a return flight to Toronto when they got him. So to make a long story short, guilty. He pled guilty, and they're asking him, well, if you don't want to spend 18 months at the hotel we have there in St. Philip, it's also known as Dodds Prison. If you do not want to spend 18 months up there, we'll take, it was $70. And he's like, $70, like in the thousand, area. Well, you mean like 70,000? Yeah, we'll take $70,000 off you, and you can go back home to Canada and pretend that this never happened. But we're gonna need the 70,000. Guess what? It was not paid. He went back to court knowing that he would have to pay or spend time in prison. So in between that time, he could have called Canada and say, hey, family, I'm going to need some money. Have it, just send me this amount to make sure that it's going to be enough. And I don't know if he didn't get them at the time, but now he knows. Now he knows it's going to be 70,000 to get out of Dodds. And let's say that he tells them now, I guess he would pay. Do you have to pay like forthwith, or you just go and spend the 18 months? Or if you don't have it at that time, do they give you grace period to come up with the money? I'm sure they would rather have the 70,000 than to have to feed this joker for 18 months. Okay, I'm sure they'll rather have the money. So at that time, when they told him 70,000, he probably had to sit down. Oh, I'm sorry. But anyhow, he's silly. He's a civil engineer. With that kind of education, you should have enough money to, it doesn't take that much money to live. Don't let anyone fool you. It does not take that much money to live. You just cannot become a consumer. You just cannot go there and think you need everything that they're selling. You just take what you need. You just buy what you need, and you do not need that much food. You just get some good food, and you find that the better the food, the less you eat. That's a fact. That's a fact. You eat more when you're hungry, and you're hungry when you're not eating nutritious stuff. You'll be eating and eating and eating and not feeling full because you're eating, it's all empty, they call it empty calories. So the better you eat, the less you eat. But anyhow, getting back to this guy, $70,000 they want from him. So Mr. Spence is back at the hotel, and maybe, you'll hear from them again. You'll hear from him again saying, well, he came up with the $70,000. Maybe, but as a civil engineer and working in Canada, he should have that money. He should have that money, okay? But he was represented by Vanderpool and Angela Gittins, Michelle Gittins, her. Yeah, so anyhow, that's it. He didn't come up with the money. He's back at the hotel there in St. Philip. Maybe he'll come up with the 70,000 and they'll send him off on his way. But when they took him from the airport, that was a cost to him too, because he missed his flight. he missed that flight. So when he's leaving, is it a deportation type of leaving where, the Canadian government is charged? How does that work? How does it work when someone's in custody and they're unceremoniously being taken off your country and sent back to another country? How does that work? But he has to come with $70,000, okay? $70,000 or 18 months at the hotel there in St. Philip. This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.